Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome into the mathematics class. Hope you will enjoy it. So in today's class we will have a small revision for grade 6, which is about finding the perimeter. So first we need to understand what is the perimeter. So perimeter is the distance around the shape, or we can say in other words the boundary that surrounds a shape. So for example, if you see here we have a shape which is rectangle. So the perimeter is the boundary that surrounds that shape. So it's this one, the boundary that we have it here in black. So for the rectangle, how many sides we have? Normally we have 4 sides. 2 are opposite, 1 and 3 are opposite, 2 and 4 are the opposite. And here, instead of using the ruler to measure the length of the sides, we used like centimeter squared paper. So this one, so each one is considered as only 1 centimeter. So here the length is 1 centimeter and the length of this side is 1 centimeter. So now we need to measure, each side of the rectangle. So for example, here we have side 1. So instead of measuring, as I said, using calculator, so we need to measure it by counting how many square, okay? So this is 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So side 1 is equal to 5 centimeter, as you see here. Okay, now side 2. Again, the same thing. When we need to calculate the length of the side 2, we need to count how many squares here, because again, each square is 1 centimeter. So 1, 2, and 3. So side 2 will be 3 centimeter. So now, can we find side 3 without calculating? Without counting how many squares? Yes, of course we can, because this is a rectangle. So we know that in rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. So 1 and 3 are equal. Side 2 and side 4 are equal to. So without counting, side 3 should be 5. And if we need to be sure, we count the squares 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? So now again the same thing. We have side 4, which is opposite of side 2. So again the length, it should be the same. So side 2 is 3, and then side 4 is 3 again. So now what's the perimeter? As we defined it before, so perimeter is the surrounding sides of this shape, the rectangle. So perimeter, we need to add all the sides that we have. So how many sides we have? We have 4 sides, and we have the answer of each side, like side 1, 5, 3, 5, 3. So the only thing we need to do is add them together. So 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3, which is equal to 16 centimeters. So 16 centimeter is my perimeter of this rectangle, okay? Now let's see another shape. So now the square. As we know that the square is kind of rectangle, but here we have all the sides are equal to each other. So side 1 equal to 2, 3, and 4. So now we need to measure the length of side 1. So again we count how many square, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? So side 1 should be 5 centimeters. Okay. Now what about side 2? As we said before, we don't have to count again because this is square. In square, all the sides are equal. So side 2 should be 5. Side 3 also should be 5. And side 4. Okay, now we need to find the perimeter. Again, the perimeter of any shape is adding the sides that surrounds the shape, okay? So we need to add side 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what's my perimeter? We need to plus all the sides. So it's 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. But since all the numbers are the same, we don't say plus, plus, plus. So that's why we have the multiplication. So in the square, we just multiply the length of one side, multiply by 4. Because all the 4 sides are the same. So instead of doing 5 plus 5 plus 5, we do 5 times 4, which is equal to 20 centimeter, okay? So the perimeter for the square is 20 centimeter for this one. Okay, now what about if we have irregular shapes? What can we do in this case? Again, same as before. We said that the perimeter, which is, we need to add all the lengths of all the sides, okay? So we need just to plus all the lengths that we have. So let's, for example, deal with these shapes, which are not, these shapes are irregular. They are not rectangle or triangle or square, let's say. So now what we said, it's very, very simple. We just need to plus all the sides. We need to add them all. So now, let's do this one. So this one, how many square we have? 1, 2, 3. So the length of this one is 3 centimeters. Now we have to calculate the length of this one, which is only 1 square. So this is 1. So now we have 3, 1, and now we need to calculate the length of this one. Again, it's 1. Now here we have 3. Now here we have 4 squares. And then here we have 1, 2, 3, again 4 squares. So see, we should calculate all the surroundings. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So we plus them all, we got 16. So the perimeter of this shape is 16 centimeters. Now again, we do always the same thing. We just follow the step. Now we have this shape. How can we find the perimeter? Again, the same thing. This one is 1. Now we need to find this one. How many squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5. Now this one, the small one, it's 1. And now this one, again it's 1. The lower one, 1. Now here, again we have 1. Now here, 1. So here you need to be careful. You need to count all of them. Don't count like this and then forget some of them. Even these ones we need to count. So all the surrounding sides, we need to count them. Now here we have 1, 2, 3, okay? Sorry. So here we have 3. And then from here to here we have 1. From here to here we have 1 again. And then the last one is 3. So now we need to plus all these numbers. We need to plus all the sides. We need to add them up. So 1 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 11 plus 3, 14, 15, 16, and 3. This one is 20, okay? Now this one. Again, we need to plus all the sides. So this is 1. Then we count here, we have 7 squares. Then here we have 2. And then here on this side we have 3. This one is 1. Then we have these 2 squares. Then we go here, it's 1 square. We go up, it's 1 square. And then to the right, to the left, it's another 1. So now we count them. 1 and 7, 8, 10, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20. So now, what if we have joined rectangles? So if you see this shape, so here in this shape we have kind of irregular shape, but we can make it regular. How? So first, we need to cut this shape here. See, let me show you. So here we have like this shape. So we cut it from here. So we will have 2 rectangles. So now here we have 1 rectangle and we have the second one. So now in order to find the perimeter, we need to find all the sides that we have. We need to measure them. So now we know this one 6, 4, this one we don't know, 3, 2, this one we don't know, and this one we don't know. So how can we find them? Again, remember, here we have 1 rectangle, here we have the second rectangle. And in the rectangle we say that the opposite sides are equal, okay? So, since this one is 3, the opposite should be equal, so this one again it's 3. Now, this one is 4, so what should be the upper one? Yes, the opposite one should be again the same, 4. Okay. Now, this side. we don't know what's this side. And the opposite here, we have it's 6, but it's not equal, okay? So we need to do something to find what's the length of this side. So let me show you this one. So let's imagine it. It's here. We took it to this side. So now this, we will have this one same as this one, right? Because they are opposite. So this one is 6. The opposite side should be 6, okay? And I know this black side is equal to 2. But I'm interested in finding the yellow one. So what should be the yellow one? It should be the red one, all of them, minus the black one. So the red one is equal to 6, as we said, minus 2 here. So 6 minus 2 will be 4. So the yellow one equal to 4. So now this one is 4. Now we check, do we have the length of all the sides? Yes, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one too. Okay, so now we can find the perimeter in the same equation that we know, which is adding all the sides. So we plus all of them, 3, 4, 6, 4, 4, 3, 2, and then we will have 26 centimeter, okay? So the perimeter of this shape is 26 centimeter. But careful, we don't count this one, because this one is inside, okay? And we cut it like this. We count only the surrounding sides. So this one in the middle, we don't count it. Okay, so now we have the area. So after we learn how to find the perimeter, now we need to find the area, which is very important. So first, so what is area? So it can be the size of a surface. So for example, what's the size, like the surface area of this screen? Or the amount of space inside the boundary of a shape. For example, so let's say here we have boundary, okay? Which is the perimeter, as we learned before. So now what is area? It's the amount of space inside the boundary. So this one here, that is colored in blue. So the area that is colored in blue, we have it as the area, okay? But the black one is the perimeter, as we learned before. So now we're going to learn how to find the area. So for the irregular shapes, so as we said, the area, it is the space here inside, the inside space, okay? So the only thing we need to do for the irregular shapes is counting how many squares do we have. So for example, did you see here, like it's, as we said, centimeter squares? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, okay? So here we have 15 square. So the area for this shape should be 15 centimeter square. This square we should add it. Why? Because we are counting the squares. We are not counting here sides, okay? So just kind of units. So here we have 15 centimeter square, okay? So area should be always in square. It shouldn't be like normal centimeter, like the perimeter. Don't forget about this one, it's very important. Now, this shape, again the same thing. We count how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So again, how many squares I have inside this shape? I have 15 square. So the area is 15 centimeter square. Now for this shape, again, we count how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, again 15. So this shape has 15 square inside it. So the area is 15 centimeter square. Okay? So did you see we have different shapes, but all of them have different area. So shape are not related to the area. So we need to count only the inside squares that we have. And remember always, the unit should be square, okay? Which is centimeter square or meter square, whatever, but it should be squared. So now, what if we have rectangle? Again, we need to count the squares to find the area. So 1, 2, 3, but this is boring to count all of them. But what do we know? We know that in the rectangle, so we have this side and this side, the opposite are equal. and these two are equal, okay? So now let's see this row. The first row, how many squares do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 squares in one row. And how many rows do I have? 1, 2, 3. So instead of counting all of them, we can use multiplication, which is easier and faster. So we have 5 squares in one row, we have 3 rows. So to find the total of all the squares, we need to multiply. So 5 times the 3. So area is 5 times the 3 equal to 15 centimeters square. So again, as I said, area should be in square. Because here I'm multiplying centimeter times centimeter, it will be centimeter square, okay? So we should have always power of 2. But let's try to find the formula for the rectangle, to find the area of the rectangle. So this 5 is the length of the rectangle. The 3 is the width of the rectangle. So what do we do here? We multiplied 5 times the 3, which means length times width, okay? So this formula, we can have it fixed for any rectangle, for all the rectangles. So the area of rectangles is length times width for any rectangle, okay? It's pretty easy. So for example, let's try to solve these two examples. So here we have rectangle here and the rectangle here. So this one, to find the area of it, what we said, the formula, it's length times width, okay? So what's the length of this one? We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length is 6, the width is 2. So it should be 6 times 2. Let's see. This is 6, this is 2. So length times width is 6 times 2, which is equal to 12 centimeters squared, okay? So it should be square. Now this one, again, always the same formula, we don't change it for the rectangle. Area is equal to length times width. So what's the length here we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. So the length is equal to 6 centimeters. What about the width? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the width should be equal to 4 centimeters. So now we multiply them, length times width. So 6 times 4 equal to 24 centimeters square, okay? Please don't forget the square. It's very important. Because if we sum them, counting the squares, it's 24 squares we have here. Now again, how can we find the area of a joined rectangles? Again, this is the same as example of the previous one that we find the perimeter, but here we need to find the area. So again, the first thing, because this is irregular shape, I need to count it, but here I don't have the squares. And this shape doesn't have formula. So we need to cut it again for 2 rectangles. Let me cut them. So this one. Now I have rectangle 1, rectangle 2. So what should be the area? Area should be area 1 plus area 2. Just like imagine if we are finding the area of the house, let's say. So if we need to find the area of the house, we plus the area of each room. So for example, the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom. So we plus all the, so imagine these are 2 different rooms. To find the area of this house, we plus the area of this room plus the area of this room. So now area 1 here. So area 1, we have this rectangle. Length is 4, width is 6. So 4 times 6 will be 24 centimeters square. So this is area 1. Now we need to find area 2. Again, the same thing. Length times width. So area 2 is equal to 3 times 2, which is equal to 6. So now what we need to do, as we said, area 1 plus area 2, because we have 2 shapes. But in total they are 1. So we plus 24 plus 6 equal to 30 centimeters square. Okay, so thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the class, which is small revision, and hope to see you again in other classes. Thank you so much.